Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Taz back at you with another Digimon episode review for Digimon Adventure 2020 episode 51 entitled Mysteries Hidden Within the Crests. Now, this episode wasn't the most hard-hitting. It was more of a let's give you a lot of information. Also, we're gonna just throw in a random big baddie who was basically the Kirby equivalent in Digimon, Burpmon. Never seen the little fellow, but basically he was Kirby with a limit, because as we all know, Kirby is a endless black hole of siphoning, as Burpmon had a threshold pretty much. But with all that being said, after the utter defeat of Millenniumon, the Digidestined assume everything is good to go, everything is, we've saved the world. But that is not the case. We get a call from Trashmon to Izzy, basically letting him know, like, hey, do you know what this symbol is? And he's like, yeah, I kind of know what this is. They've seen, he's seen his symbol on his Digivice many a times. So it leads them to this tree, which I thought was Yggdrasil, but I forgot, like, that's not what this is. But this tree that they're led to is basically the hub of where most of the data in the digital world has been collected by many of the sentient or knowledge-based or smart Digimon, even some who come from armed revolutions like Searchmon. There were a lot of varying Digimon types there, Dogmon, all types, just there gathering knowledge. And they have this funny saying, it brings joy to my knowledge, when they discover something new or something good happens in relation to knowledge to be gained to shed light upon something. So with them getting there, being introduced to Wisemon, reuniting with Searchmon, and our fellow in the trash can, they lead the Digidestined to an area where you see the floating crests. Now, all the Digidestined had seen these. They were like, oh, we just assumed that these were things that appeared on our Digivices, which, as we know, as people who may have watched the original series compared to now, that's what we assumed it was and what it always would be, just in this case, because they never really said anything else about crests, because we knew originally the crests that they had back then to achieve the evolutions that they had, that's why they needed them. They used the crests previously as focal points to focus more energy to help the Digimon digivolve past champion into ultimate, and in some cases mega, if that were to be the thing, until eventually they were no longer needed and destroyed and found that, oh, this power lies within, this is just something we let you know, like a placebo. That's what the crests were. But now in this case, there's something completely different to the crests. Now, when all the Digidestined get up on this mantle and align with their given crest, it starts to glow, and then the screens start collecting all the data of the Digidestined, meaning everything that they were, past experiences from young age till now, when we see subtle flashbacks of each of them seeing these crests at given points when they were kids. Now, we don't know how factual that is, if they'll ever actually expand upon that, or if they'll go any deeper than that, but I thought that was really interesting. Like, so we've seen them also see these crests in their past, like the digital world and the Digimon who had hope for, the light to be given to them in their world not being destroyed, wish this, and from their hopes and wishes, this power was granted, or it was sought and delivered to the Destined at a young age until they were actually able to unite and come to the digital world to save it. So with all that said, they really didn't give us much information. Now, once Burpmon gets there and starts trying to devour everything and eat everything in the, the entirety of the tree, we do have to have him defeated, because that just cannot happen. He is thusly defeated, and then all the data that he collected, all the data that he collected have been dispersed, and that's when, getting back into the tree, things change. So the crests then light up again in relation to the Digidestined's Digivices and form a compass. Now, what does that mean? If you recall in the original series, each crest to be attained, there was a trial. There was some form of trial or some form of hardship that had to be had that related to the crest's awakening. Like, example, Tai. In order for Tai to actually attain the crest of courage, he had to show resolute courage in the face of absolute, uncertainty and doubt. And therefore he attained his crest. And that's the first time we actually got to see Greymon digivolve into Metal Greymon. Now, this time around, we do know that they're splitting up again. Everyone has to go their separate ways. The compasses are showing us something different for each person. Now, what we get from that, who knows? But it's gonna have to happen. And let me not also forget, Gatomon and Patamon were not able to digivolve and help in the fight. Now, Palmon alluded to this also, like, you two went through some extraordinary digivolution. Like, even Telmon said it even back then in the previous episode, these digivolutions were not, they were taken by storm. Like, they never assumed that this is what they would be. She would have been an Ophanimon, he would have been a Seraphimon. This took us to a completely different digivolution that we didn't even think was possible. We became big baddies, we became kaiju, we became the big upper echelon of digivolution as far as size, because we know there are Digimon who aren't even that massive who can wreak havoc. So who am I kidding? But still, with that being said, with the group splitting up again to now have to go solve the mysteries of their current quest for their Crests information, or to figure out what it is, we do know that unlike Ty and Matt, who have gotten their mega evolutions, we will be getting the mega evolutions for our people. Now, I assume Izzy's gonna be the last one, just for the simple fact that he's staying behind to do more research, because they let us know that this isn't the end. Millenniumon was like the stepping stone. He was the mini boss to the main boss. So the catastrophe has yet to happen. We saw a subtle glimpse of what the darkness was. We just saw an eye. But Izzy's staying behind because he believes that there's something more to this. Like, it just can't be coincidence that Burpmon, of all things, came here to collect and eat this data the moment we get word or light of the Crests and what knowledge that they could impart upon us. So yeah, Izzy staying behind, everyone's splitting up. Joe and Gomamon are gonna take Hikari and TK and Patamon and Gatomon over to the Oasis to relax and try and recuperate, because you know they know about that. It's gonna be nice to see that. I'm hoping in that episode, when they do get there, because that recovery is going to be required, we'll get Vikemon. We still will not get a evolution of a Ophanimon or Seraphimon of any kind, but we will get Vikemon. I'm hoping for Vikemon. But like I said, everybody split up. They're going their separate ways. In our next episode, we are getting Hauhomon or Phoenixmon. If you do not know, I've always been a stickler for not liking Phoenixmon, because I think Phoenixmon's like the most bland evolution you could pick for Birdramon or Biomon, Piomon, however you want to say it. I've always liked the Griffinmon myself as a Digivolution line, or there's anything else will be better than just the big ass Firebird, because it already went from a Firebird to another Firebird. And Phoenixmon doesn't really come off that crazy hardcore at all. Even in Try, I just wasn't a big fan of it. I've never been a fan of it, but it just is what it is. But guys, the Crests are here. New adventures are being set up out and upon, and we have more things to look forward to in the journey of the Digidestined. We're 51 episodes in. They originally predicted this show to be 66, so that means we still have 15 episodes left. Now, I highly doubt that they conclude this show in 15 episodes. So, if you haven't already, like the video, comment, share it, make sure you subscribe. All these things help me grow in the YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate you so much. And as always, be blessed, wash your hands, wash your ass, and I'll holler at you later. Peace.